राधे
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सुमुखश्च एकदन्तश्च कपिलो गजकर्णकः लम्बोदरस्य विकटो विघ्नराजो विनायकः धूमकेतुर्गणाध्यक्षः फालचन्द्रो गजाननः वक्रतुण्डः शूर्पकर्णो हेरम्बः स्कन्दपूर्वजः शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। यस्य विरदवक्त्राद्या पारिषद्या परस्ततं विघ्नं निघ्नन्ति सततं विश्वक्सेनं तमाश्रये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। My humble namaskarams to all of you. Now, Kanchi Paramacharya has said that, especially for you, Kanna, you have such a very auspicious face. Okay, you have a beautiful life ahead of you. Okay, and Kanchi Paramacharya has said, Mahapariva has said, any action we take, okay, so you get up in the morning and then you go out to do many things, like go to school, go to grocery store, whatever you do, or you go to bed at night, or you go and take up your book and study, do homework, or go for singing, whatever you do, whatever, okay, there are always some challenges, obstacles come in, right? Not all the time things go your way, right? So, it says to remove all obstacles, small, big, doesn't matter, okay? Your mind does not focus, right? Right now your mind is looking somewhere else, right? Correct? Right. To remove all obstacles, he says, you start with this slokam. Sumukhascha ekadantascha kapilo gajakarnakah lambodarascha vikato vignarajo धूमकेतुर गणाध्यक्षः पालचन्द्रो गजाननः वक्रतुण्डः शूर्पकर्णो हेरम्बः स्कन्दपूर्वजः. 12 names are there, right? You memorize it, okay? You just say it once in the morning, then you'll have no obstacles. Whatever action you take will go beautifully, okay? So that is why I started with that, okay? Now, with Bhagavan's grace, I'm very, very happy that all of you are here and all of you are there on the conference call. Whoever Bhagavan decides and wills to bring, that's what happens. Okay, it is never about quantity and all that. It's always about personal journey, you and Bhagavan. That's all. Okay, because there is no quantity for only quality, right? Now. Today is what, 2016, right? So approximately, because we don't know for sure, about 5,054 years ago, approximately, in that time. Okay, can you think back that far? Okay? Now, then imagine a place that is north of what we know Delhi is. You all know where Delhi is, New Delhi is, right? So imagine a place north of that, not very far from that, called Kurukshetra. Okay? And Kurukshetra was nothing but a huge expanse of land. Okay? Huge land it was. No buildings, nothing. Okay? Just huge amount of land. And on that land, approximately maybe approximately December 5, December 6, December 7, like that time. Okay, approximately 5,054 years ago, in that huge land. Okay, a tremendous war had taken place. Unimaginable bloodshed. Literally millions of people had been killed. Okay, can you picture that? Nothing but, everywhere you see, everything was horses, elephants, people. Such a cruel, it is to think of it becomes so painful. So I won't describe that in detail. Out of that huge war that took place between Kauravas, now you know Kauravas, right? And Pandavas, okay? I told you millions of people had died. How many people actually survived that war? Did you ever think of it? Yes. 5? How many? Okay, very good. Actually, there were 7 people who had survived from the Pandava side. Okay? And there were 4 people from the Kaurava side. That's all. And imagine that evening, it's the 18-day war. That's all it took, only 18 days. Okay? And it was not a massacre. It was a battle that was fought for a very, very good reason. Okay? And if that war had not been fought, we would not be enjoying all the things we're enjoying today. Okay? Now, the evening time, the war had ended. Just picture, there were 7 people just holding hands and walking back home. Okay? And those 7 were Panchapandavas. You know the names, right? And then Krishna and Satyaki. Okay? Very nicely. Sun is just setting. They were all exhausted physically, but they were holding hands and walking back home. That was the end of the war. Then, after reaching the palace, the very next day, Yudhishthira was extremely sad. Naturally, because he was the king and he was responsible for killing of all these millions of people, not just one. Even when we kill one small bug, a spider or something, we feel so guilty, right? Imagine eliminating so many people. But they had to do it. So he called all the elders together. Vyasa was there, Krishna was there, okay, everybody was there and said, Swami, now I have done something that is extremely despicable. I cannot. All this, I am the cause for the loss of so many lives. Not only these lives had been lost, there were so many families depending on them. For every soldier who got killed, there was a family that was depending on him. Right? I am the cause for all that. What can I do? Then Krishna explained to him, no, it is not your fault. You have had to do this. Vyasa explained to him, but Yudhishthira was not satisfied. Okay? He says, no, I'm not satisfied. My heart doesn't. I know you say all this intellectually correct, but I can't agree. Then Krishna did a beautiful thing. He said, I tell you what, you're not listening to me. Okay? Why don't we go back to Kurukshetra? Okay? There, our Bhishma Acharya is lying down. And he's about to leave his life. Now, some people can decide when they choose to leave their body. Okay? Not all of us can. Okay? But very few people can do that. Bhishma Acharya was one of them. So he was waiting. Before he passes away, go and ask him these questions. And Yudhishthira listened. So they all went back. And there, the picture of the scene. Now you got Bhishmacharya was lying not on a nice bed, but a bed of arrows. Just imagine how pierceful, right? All the blood will be coming out, right? So painful all over, not just one part, but all over your body. It is pain and nothing but pain, right? And all the blood has oozed out. The man would have been, what you and I would be very, what we call anemic, right? Very, very weak. But he was there. And there was a huge, phenomenal effulgence around him. And he was just lying there, patient. And what is the strength that you need in life? Patience. Patience is the only strength, and patience is all the strength you need in life. Okay? No other strength is needed. So he was very patient, waiting for the right time. And there the Pandavas go there. And because Dhritarashtra was such an, not Dhritarashtra, Bhishma was such an exalted soul, along with Yudhishthira and the Pandavas, Draupadi also went there. Because when there are elders of that caliber, if Kanchi Paramacharya is coming, everybody will go, right, to get his darshan. Isn't it? It is for our benefit. Right? Even looking at him purifies you so much. So Draupadi also went with them. And then Yudhishthira, everybody paid their respect to Bhishma. And Bhishma was very happy to see them. Okay? And with a nice smile on his face. So he inquired, how are you? How is your health? Even though he himself was on a bed of arrows, he was inquiring about their health and welfare. That is how we should be, always looking at others' concern and well-being. Right? And then Yudhishthira asked him many questions. Because he is now the king of the whole kingdom. How should I rule the kingdom? What is the rule I should follow? What is dharmam? How to earn wealth? Right? And what is the meaning of life? So many things he asked. One after another, so many questions. Okay? He also asked him about the fact that, am I responsible for all this? For all the killing that has taken place? He got his answer. Because Dharma Shastram was explained to him by Bhishma. And then, after hearing all that, he became very peaceful. He had no more doubts. He had no more questions. See, imagine, when you have no questions, when you have no doubts, when you are absolutely satisfied and contented, how will you be? Peaceful. You don't need anything. See? Only when you want something, you lose your peace. When you don't want anything, you have only peace. It's very peaceful. Then, when you're really peaceful, when you're one with that Shantam within each one of us, Shanta Samudram is what Upanishad calls it. It's an ocean of peace. No agitation. And that peace, when you're so blissful, happy is not the word. Even bliss is not the word. At that point, you really and sincerely experience and looking your perspective, your desire, your thinking, everything is for the well-being of all. Samasta lokaha sukhino bhavantu. That is what you experience at that point. So, with that, then Yudhishthira asks Bhishma 6 questions. Okay? And then Bhishma gives answer to that. And because that happened, we have, that answer is what we call as Vishnu Sahasranamam. Okay? And that is what, with Bhagavan's case, we are going to share over whatever time Bhagavan wants us to take, right? What's allowed for us. Now, what are those 6 questions? We will see. Okay? And then, talking about Sahasranam, when one important story I want to narrate to you before we move, because this is nothing but about Bhagavan, right? About Swami. When Yudhishthira started asking questions to Bhishma, Swami, what is Dharma? What should I do? We all have this question. All of us have this question. We do so many things that the conscience within us pricks sometimes, right? That conscience is nothing but Dharma, okay? And so, but what is it? So you ask the question. You have to ask the right person the question in order to get the right answer. Not everybody can be a guru, right? Now, when Yudhishthira was asking questions about Dharma and all to Bhishma, it's a beautiful evening time it was. Okay? Sun is setting. Bhishma is lying down on the bed of arrows. Panchapandavas are sitting or standing on one side very respectfully. On the other side is Krishna is seated just next to him. And here is Draupadi standing. And when Yudhishthira asks a question, Draupadi laughs. She actually laughs. Now imagine, that is considered a sign of disrespect. If Kanji Paramacharya is present, will you laugh? When somebody, Mahan, is present, you keep quiet. You don't speak unless you are spoken to. And she laughs. And Draupadi laughing, immediately Panchapandavas, look at her sternly. How can you do this? But Bhishma smiles. He says, no. Draupadi is not an ordinary lady. She is an extraordinary lady. Phenomenal devotee. Example of devotion is Draupadi. She not only is devoted to Bhagavan, she carries out her duties impeccably in an exemplary fashion. She conducts herself always in an exemplary fashion. So if she laughs, there must be a reason for it. Let us see. What is the reason? Let us find out, he says. He asks Draupadi, why did you laugh, ma? Then she says, Swami, the person who asked you these questions, my husband, Yudhishthira, is also known as Dharmaputra. He is the son of Yama Bhagavan himself. And Yama is, we think we are all afraid of Yama. No. He is the most kind person. Okay? And absolutely just. If you want Dharma, you understand Yama. Then you will understand Dharma. His son, who has conducted his whole life only according to Dharma. And every time he says what is Dharma and trying to follow that, he is the one who is asking you questions about Dharma. And who are you? You are the one, okay, when they tried to humiliate me the other day in that big palace in the hall, you didn't stop it. You didn't get up and leave. You just sat there with your head down. So I'm laughing. That's all. And Pandavas were absolutely frazzled. They said, how can you ask this kind of a question, right? It's disrespectful. But this is the beauty of real Mahan. With Bhagavan, you can take any liberty, so long as you operate on the basis of truth and your question is sincere. There is no question big or small. You can question Bhagavan on anything if it is sincere and truthfully. He will answer. Bhishma was not bothered. He says, no, your question is very correct. This is the beauty. How many of us I will admit that I'm wrong, that you are right? Right? He says, no, what you say is very correct. And what I did was, I was falsely. This is a very important thing to understand about Dharma. Okay, that's why I'm narrating this to you. Because Sahasranamam is nothing but description of Dharma. Okay, that's all it is. Now, he says, I thought I owed my loyalty and allegiance to the Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana and all that, because they were feeding me, they were giving me my food. So, in misplaced loyalty. But loyalty should always only to Bhagavan it should be. Because of that, all the blood that I had that was impurified, that had impurities, impurified, right? That had been contaminated with all this, now had all gone out in this bed of arrows. So he admits that. It's a beautiful lesson. Think about it. It looks like a very small story, but very important lesson. And then, question was asked after Krishna, when, how come you are the one who taught Bhagavad Gita, okay, to Arjuna? Right? You could have explained the Dharma to Yudhishthira also. Why did you send him to Bhishma to learn? Right? You could have explained it. And this is another thing we have to understand, how Bhagavan operates. Okay? We can never understand how he operates fully, but we can get insights into it, a little bit here and there. Okay? And it is so beautiful how Bhagavan conducts himself. It's unbelievable. And everything is a wondrous experience and a lesson that cannot be described. So much powerful it is. He explains, yes, I sent him to Bhishma because Yudhishthira was suffering from the loss of his relatives. All his relatives are gone. Right? So if I explain, I have not lost anybody. Right? If I give advice to somebody who is suffering, I cannot, there's no empathy. You have to, so Bhishma is in the same position. He has lost everybody. So they can relate. So Yudhishthira will pay more attention, right, to what he says. That's why I sent it to him. Of course, there's another reason. Bhagavad Gita in Mahabharatam Itihasam. Okay, for the youngsters who are present, listen very carefully, because this is one of the most important things that in life that has been given to us is what is called Itihasam. The Itihasa means, if I tell you a history book, okay, you know what a history is, right? All of you know what a history book is. Itihasam is a Sanskrit word for history. Okay? It's Itiha Asaha. Thus it was. So Ramayanam and Mahabharatam, two important history books that have been given. They are not just stories. They are his stories, Bhagavan's stories. They actually happened. Okay? Now, they happened in, without confusing you too much, I told you 5,000 and odd years ago this took place, but that was in this Kali Yuga. Yeah, that is Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. It happened in the previous Mahayuga, same way. So this goes timeless. You understand? From the beginning of time itself. Now, Itihasam, most of us do not have the wisdom or the intelligence or the determination or the hard work required to read Vedas and understand them. What does the Vedas say? We don't pay attention to it that much. So, to help common people common people means not anybody who's dull-witted, no. People who just don't have the Shraddha or the determination to take the effort to learn is why Itihasam was written. Give all the dharma. Then Purana stories are there. Do you understand? Now, in that, the reason I'm saying that Itihasa Puranam, that Vyasa Bhagavan wrote Mahabharata. Okay? Now, Vyasa Bhagavan, why Mahabharatam is so great, all the dharmas are given there. You have Krishna himself. The beginning, he himself spoke Bhagavad Gita. In Sahasranamam, when Bhishma was reciting it, Krishna was hearing it, listening to it, thereby giving his full approval. Very important to understand that. Okay? Now, it is given in Sanskrit, right? And Sanskrit is an English word. What is the correct word? Samskritam. Right? What does Samskritam means? Kritam means to do. Okay? That we all know. Now, in any language, where the moment you utter a sound, could be English, could be Hindi, could be Tamil, it doesn't matter, whatever language it is. People speak so many languages, right? But they speak through their mouth and then you hear and then you understand, you go in whatever. Now, what happens the moment you utter a sound, it creates a disturbance in your mind, right? If I say snake, immediately it creates a different, if I say fire, it creates a different disturbance, right? Correct? There's no fire, there's no snake. I just used a word, right? So sounds are very powerful. But most of the sounds create disturbances that are not good, that are not healthy. Sometimes you get happy, sometimes not very happy. But Samskritam is a language where the sounds that are uttered does not create any disturbance. If Sanskritam is spoken properly, you hear there's no disturbance. You just understand the meaning and move on. Do you understand? So, that without disturbing the peace, that is why it's Sanskritam. But how to understand the meaning of Sahasranamam? Next question, right? First is the subject matter that is being described or talked about is Bhagavan himself. How can you describe Bhagavan? Can you describe happiness? Can you describe sweetness? No. It has to be experienced. Right? So there is a limitation. Understand? Second is, the Sanskrit words, each one has got what you call a root aksharam. Okay? The Sanskritam language is so developed, each one has got a proper meaning. To understand it properly, Adi Sankara, what he did once, after giving us so much information, Bhajagovindam, and so many things he has given that you can relate to, right? One day he decided, he thought, he was worshipping goddess in the form of Mother, Amba. So let me write Bhashyam. Bhashyam means some description of the meaning of Lalita Sahasranamam, he thought. So he sent his student, his disciple, go to that, bring the Lalita Sahasranamam book. And he went there and he brought the book. And Adi Sankara Bhagavad Padali is called, okay? And he opened the book. It was Vishnu Sahasranamam. So he said, no, this is not what I want to go and bring Lalita Sahasranam. So the boy goes there and brings a book. He opens it, again Lalita Sahasranam. Then he says, what is this? I'm asking you to bring Vishnu Sahasranamam. You're bringing Lalita Sahasranam book instead. Swami, what can I do? Every time I go into the library and take the Vishnu Sahasranama book, there is a beautiful young girl there. She says, every time I go there to bring Lalita Sahasranam book, a young girl there sitting, she's beautiful, resplendent. She gives me this book instead. She says, no, go give this book. So Sankara Bhagavad rushes to the library. Of course, by then Ambala had disappeared. Then he realized, oh, you wanted me to write Bhashyam on Vishnu Sahasranamam. That is why he first wrote, what is it? This from Vishnu Vashatkaro, we say like that. What does it mean? Right? He wrote, based upon the Sanskrit aksharams. Each aksharam has got a fantastic meaning. Beautiful, precise meaning. No confusion. Only person who's knowledgeable can tell us that. That is Bhagavad Pada. So, then later on, another great devotee called Parasara Bhattar. He was attracted to this and then he did the same thing, gave a meaning for what Sahasranam is. And then Ragavendra Swamigal, whom you all would have heard. The moment I say Ragavendra Swamigal, what happens in your mind? One of reverence and happiness comes in, right? Power of words, right? And he wrote meaning of Sahasranam. So what Bhagavan says, Swami says, we will share, meaning would be what those three Mahans have written. Okay? Keeping in mind that Bhagavan cannot be captured in descriptions, can only be experienced. But through the Sahasranamam, we will experience different aspects of Bhagavan. Agreed? Now, so we talked about all that, okay. Now, there is Sahasranamam itself. The way we normally recite it today, it has got the very first part is prayers, which we will cover. Hopefully today if there is time, if not we'll take it up in the next class. Then, I mentioned to you that Yudhishthira asked Bhishma questions and Bhishma answers that, and he gives, before he starts the so-called description of Bhagavan thing, the very first Jagat Prabhum Deva Devam Anantam itself is a beautiful thing, okay? So that particular part describes how the Sahasranamam came about. When we say Sahasranamam, by the way, it means only Vishnu Sahasranamam. Kanchi Paramacharya himself has said it. For everything else, you have to have an adjective. Lalita Sahasranamam, Siva Sahasranamam, Rama Sahasranamam. Like that, you have to add one word before it. When you say Sahasranamam, it means only Vishnu Sahasranamam. Please understand that. So, after that initial description, it's called Avatarika. Avatarika means birth. Okay? Okay? That part we'll cover. That has got 17 slokams or something like that. Maybe 12 or 17 or something. Okay? And then, after that, we do, this is very important. And we'll share the meanings also of what is called thinking and focusing on Bhagavan. Called Dhyanam. Okay? And beautifully that describes. Then the Sahasranam itself is 107 slokams. Okay? Now, each slokam is a couplet. Okay? Now, the couplet is in the meter called Anushtup meter. You can remember these words very easy. Anushtup meter. And what is beautiful about Anushtup meter? It is very easy to memorize and remember. It is so symmetrical. Okay? It has basically got two lines. First line, 1/2. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. That's all. Simple. Everything will be exactly the same length. You will not forget it. And each one has got maybe 3 words, 4 words or something like that. That's all. Very simple. And sometimes it will go beautifully. The whole Sahasranamam is like that. Then after that, the part comes after. This is what I call as the fourth part. Okay? But actually, we can call it a second part, whichever way, but I call it the fourth part because that's where we recite. First is the prayer, second is the birth, the avatarika, third is the dhyanam, right? And fourth is the Sahasranamam, the 107 slokams, right? And then comes, oh, sir, why should I do Sahasranamam? I've got so many things to do in life. Right? I mean, I've got so many things. So just imagine, the things to do list is so much for us. At 9 o'clock I have to do, 10 o'clock I have to do, right? I have to take my daughter there, do this, do that. So many things we have. Why should what is the benefit in doing that? I go to work, I get a paycheck, that's a benefit, right? What is the benefit? That is described in section 5. Whatever benefit you want is given. Seriously. Whatever benefit, whatever you want will be given. That is essence summary of it. You got high fever, you recite Sahasranamam, the fever will decrease. It has happened. You got lots of worries, so you recite Sahasranamam, worries will be gone. Believe it or not, it will be gone. The thing may still be there, but you will not be worried. This is the beauty. Okay, so whatever you want will be given, but it gives us all the details. Then the final few slokams is meant for people like you and me. Okay, I don't have time. I've got so many things to do. Yeah, I understand. I want to recite Sahasranamam and all that. Yeah, who's going to be reciting 107 plus another 17 plus another 12 plus another 22 or whatever? So many slokams. Even M.S. Subbulakshmi card takes 20 minutes. If I say at my speed, it takes 25 minutes. I don't have that time. Sorry. So, in Kali Yugam, because we are all basically lazy. Okay? And to help people like us, okay, the final few slokams are given. I tell you what, okay, so you're being very foolish. Okay, you don't want to spend the time with Bhagavan. I tell you what, even to help you, you just say one slokam, that is enough. Okay, that is what Bhagavan himself says. What is the one slokam I should say that is the best of the Lord? Next question comes. So many slokams are there. Which one should I do? Well, say one slokam, that is one slokam per day. That you can definitely find time less than 1 minute. Okay? But what is one slokam I should do? Then that is also given. Okay? So that is in a summary of what Sahasranamam is about. Before we begin, what is the time now? Okay, we've got 20 minutes. Very good. So, first slokam we are going to do is on Namaskarams to Krishna. Because Krishna, okay, Krishna is a extremely beautiful word. Very, very difficult to find a word that is more beautiful than Krishna. Okay, the moment I say Krishna, what do you think immediately? Right? What do you think? All your worries are gone. You feel happy. You think of this little dark blue, pitch dark young boy, right? Moving around, playing with cows and friends and, right, doing all kinds of mischief. So many things you immediately think of. Krishna is also your conscience. Okay? Krishna means 3 things. So you understand the meaning. Before, one other important thing. The whole Sahasranamam, whatever we think, whatever we're going to talk about, is only an aspect of something that is out there. Not out there, also in there too. Right? And what is that one thing? Cannot be described in words, can only be experienced. The thing, that the intelligence that gives you intelligence, right? How can you even try to picture it in words? That's the one that makes you speak. Impossible. But Upanishad calls it as prema eva. It is only prema. The moment I say love, we all can experience love. Right? Very easy to experience love. So, we will look at aspects from that angle, so that we can all relate to it on a personal basis, not on just a book. Okay, this book doesn't mean anything unless it becomes personal. Right? Otherwise, you have absolutely no value. So, from that angle, we will cover the meanings. So, Krishna. What is personal about Krishna? Why is it so important? And I learned from Bhagavan himself, and whose different aspect we are going to talk about, whose glory that Sahasranamam Bhishma sings from himself. That Bhagavan himself is what I have learned. Whatever I have learned from his teachings, I can't say I have learned. Whatever I have understood from his teachings with his grace is what I am going to be sharing with you. Krishna. Krishyati iti Krishna. Karishyati iti Krishna. Kushyati iti Krishna. Okay? Now, all of us are doing, always doing things, right? Even when you want to lie down, not do anything, you'll be doing something. You'll be thinking, right? You say, I don't want to do homework, I will watch TV, okay? But you're doing something. Can you picture yourself not doing anything? Impossible. What is the most difficult job in the world? Is to go to a park, lie down on the park bench and do nothing. See if you can do it. Impossible. We are all doing always. This impulse, this tendency, this force that is always making us do things, karishyati. That is Krishna. So next time, even if you do a piece of work that you don't like, even if you do a piece of work it is so boring, think, Krishna. He is the one who is doing it. Then see what happens. The most boring work will become interesting. The most difficult work will become the easy work. Okay? So think, Karishyati iti Krishna. Personal. Agreed? Then, Krishyati iti Krishna. Krishyati. Krishyati means to excavate, like a farmer does. He goes and plows a land. Right? So, this Bhagavan who is seated in our heart, he is the one who is plowing us. What is he plowing? Every action I do, what is the plowing that is taking place? Remember, when you go and plant a seed and it grows into a plant, that's a simple thing it grows? You have to go remove the weeds, right? You have to water it. Correct? So you have to do so many things before the thing nicely grows and gives you a fruit that you enjoy, or gives you a flower that you put for Bhagavan. This Krishyati, something that says when you lie, don't lie, something pricks. That is removing the weed, right? And then something tells you, hey, speak kindly, speak lovingly to people. Don't use harsh words. Don't be violent, right? Don't take bad habits. Something tells you, not necessarily your mother, but inside, that thing never leaves you. It will never leave you. Right? That thing that is excavating, plowing you from inside to make you remove all the bad thoughts and to pour only love and kind words so that you reap the fruit of bliss and happiness and peace. That Krishyati iti Krishna. That is also personal. Agreed? Kushyati iti Krishna. Why are you doing things? Have you ever thought about it? You want to go buy a Mercedes Benz. You want to go this. You want to buy a big house. Whatever you want, right? Or you like sweet, you make that and eat, whatever, right? Everything we do, we are seeking, we want happiness only. Does anybody will do something saying, I want sadness and misery? No, we all automatically want happiness only. That's all that is impelling us, right? That kushyati. And who gives you that happiness? When you bite into a piece of sweet and you feel happy, the sweetness, where does the sweetness come from? That is Bhagavan. That is Krishna. Okay? Now, this Krishna, let us take one slokam today from him, because this Sahasranamam is nothing but Krishna. Bhishma himself, Krishna is listening there, sitting next to him. At the end, when Bhishma stops speaking, which also we will cover with Swami's grace when the time comes, what does he say? He says that Bhagavan, all these names that we have talked about, the entity that describes, these words try to capture that Bhagavan is there right here. I see him. How is he? How does he see him? He describes it. That Krishna only describes. Okay? It is so beautiful. Okay? So let us start with a slokam about Krishna first. Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Aklishtakarine Namove Vedanta Vedhyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine. Okay? So, this one will not be in your Sahasranamam book, but that's okay. Very easy to learn. Satchidananda Rupaya. This is also in Anushtup Chanda. I will say this once more. Listen very carefully. And then next time I say this, you can join with me. Okay? Satchidananda Rupaya. Okay? Got it? Paying attention? Krishnaya Aklishtakarine. Beautiful. Okay? I'll repeat that once more. Okay. Listen carefully. First line. Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Aklishtakarine. Second line. First quarter. Namove Vedanta Vedhyaya. Namove Vedanta Vedhyaya. Second quarter, second line. Gurave Buddhi Sakshine. Gurave Buddhi Sakshine. Namove Vedanta Vedhyaya. Gurave Buddhi Sakshine. Okay? Now ready? Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Aklishtakarine Namove Vedanta Vedhyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine. Very good. Now it's familiar. So what does this mean? Satchidananda Rupaya. Okay. Satchidanandam. Sat, Chit, Anandam. That is called, very simple. Sanskrit, once you get the hang of it, you will find it is most natural. Okay? Most of the words you find become very familiar in a very short time. And they are so precise, as Kanchi Paramacharya, I learned from him at my young age, one of his discourses, as he himself said, once you understand the meaning of the Sanskrit words, you will never forget it. Never. And because it is so precise. We forget things because they are not precise. They are confused, they are approximate, very difficult to remember. But the moment it is precise, you will never forget it. Sanskrit meaning is like that. So Satchidananda, Sat, Chit, Anandam. Agreed? What does Sat mean? Sat means always there. Always. Always means what? Not only yesterday, today, tomorrow, so millions of years ago, millions of years from now, but even before time began. Can you picture a time when there was no time? Can you picture it? I'll give you a small clue. You did picture it when you were in your mother's tummy. Okay, that's another story. But the moment we all come out of our mother's tummy, we forget. That's the problem. Okay? So, before, that is Bhagavan, beyond time. Okay? Now, Sat means always. That is Bhagavan. And that is only but love. Love is always there. Agreed? Always. Whether you go to bed, whether you're flying in the sky, it doesn't matter. Love is always present. Agreed? Sat. Chit. Chit means knowledge. Now, knowledge of what? See, when you know 2 plus 2 equal to 4, that's what they teach you, you think you know. But where did the knowledge come from? Did it come from your teacher? Or from a book that says 2 plus 2 equal to 4? There are so many things written on the book I read. Do I understand all that? It comes from within. Correct? So, when 2 plus 2 equal to 4 was sitting there in your brain, time that opened up. That data bank opened, immediately you understood 2 plus 2 equal to 4. Right? Understand? But suppose if you understand, if you come to know that you are nothing but prema, nothing but love, how will that knowledge be? That is Chit. Okay? Anandam means bliss. Okay? So, Satchidananda Rupaya, one who is in the form of eternity, form of knowledge, the form of bliss. Can you picture him? Can you picture the form of a bliss? Can you give a form to knowledge? Can you give a form to eternity? Not possible. But can you experience it? Of course you can. Okay? Satchidananda Rupaya, that entity, Krishnaya. Now Krishna we can picture because many people have given paintings and drawings and all that, so we think that's what Krishna looked like. So many Krishna pictures we have, Krishna statues we have, so immediately we think this is how Krishna looked like. That's okay. You think like that, nothing wrong in that. But do you really know that's what Krishna looked like? You don't. But have you taken the time to find out? Have you taken the trouble to find out how really Krishna looked like? We have not. If you do that, you will know exactly how Krishna looked like. It's a most beautiful form that sculptures and all cannot capture. Photographs cannot capture. Pictures cannot capture. But it is so beautiful, you will never forget it. Okay? So that Krishnaya, Aklishtakarine, very important. Okay, now we have 5 minutes left. I'll try to condense the meaning. We'll continue in the next session. Okay? In Sanskrit, one small clue I will give you. Okay? Okay. You put a word and you put a before that, it becomes opposite. Okay? Simple. Klishta means all kinds of obstacles, difficulties. Life is an obstacle race, isn't it? If you look at it that way. So many obstacles. But obstacles are not outside. Obstacles are all within us. Okay? And I'll tell you what those obstacles are. So, Klishta means obstacles. Aklishta means no obstacles. Aklishta Karine means one who removes all the obstacles. Understand? Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Aklishta Karine. What those obstacles are? There are 5 obstacles. That's all. There are no more than 5. Okay? And what those 5 obstacles? we will cover in the next session. Okay? And this Bhagavan who removes those 5 obstacles is what? To him, Namo Ve, I worship. The next word is Vedanta Vedhyaya. That also will cover in next class. Okay? Gurave, very important to understand. We'll cover in next class. Buddhi Sakshine. Okay? That also will cover in next class. One short homework for you, especially for my young sister here. Okay? Such a beautiful face. Buddhi. What does Buddhi mean? You heard the word Buddhi before? Okay. Next class you tell me what it is. Or you all can do. Whoever wants can take the task. Okay? So Buddhi Sakshine. Okay? So that meaning we'll take up next class. So now together. Sachidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Akrishtakarine Namove Vedanta Vedhyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu.